Hi, this is Pete Gary with the Boca Voice and Fact or Fiction Friday. Today I'm here with my longtime friend Evan Packer, and he is also married to Stacy Packer, who is involved with me with the George Snow Foundation. We just recently finished the Boca Ballroom Battle, where we raised a record $508,000 for the George Snow Foundation. Thank you so much for loaning Stacy to us, and I know she was away from you for a while while we raised that. And thank you for all your involvement with that as well. I know you're also involved with other things. What are the other things you're involved with Stacy?
So collectively, we try to support the community, so we're involved in many different things. Probably the two biggest ones would be the George Snow Scholarship Fund, as well as Florence Fuller Child Education Program, and Stacy has an upcoming big leadership position with that, so she'll be spending a lot of her time involved. And as for myself, in addition to being involved with those sorts of things, I sit on the board of Pinecrest School, and as my kids go there, stay kind of involved, and also the Boca Raton Art Museum, which is a big passion of mine.
That's great. So tell us a little bit about, I know you're a neurosurgeon, but tell us what that means and how that kind of gets involved and
Sure.
what that means. Because there's a lot of kind of stigma around a neurosurgeon and what they do, because I know I was confused until I started having conversations around you, and you enlightened me a lot about what a neurosurgeon really does.
Yeah, everybody imagines a neurosurgeon is a guy with a bow tie and some glasses that's, gray hair and sitting in a library somewhere. Actually, modern neurosurgery is much different than people would imagine. In fact, we deal more with other problems than just brain problems. Of course, we do involve ourselves with trauma and with bleeds in the brain or tumors, things like that. But a lot of neurosurgery is spine. Patients come in with chronic neck or back problems, leg pain, sciatica, those types of things. We'll regularly see somebody like myself, and we'll treat those often non-surgically. And then there are assorted other things, particularly in this community where we have a little bit older population. People require, for example, patients with Parkinson's disease have some type of stimulators that they can have placed for treatment of Parkinson's, things like that, as well as hydrocephalus is a problem. Older people have trouble with walking and some other anomalies that we can treat surgically and really make the difference for people.
It's interesting. I was just watching Ray Donovan's one of my favorite
That's a great
shows
show.
on, and I noticed that they actually put a device on one of the brothers on that show. Is that actually something that can actually take place? Is that one of the things that you're talking about?
Yes.
Or is that something that's just made up for TV?
No, it's true. There's a whole field of neurosurgery called neuromodulation, and basically involves stimulators which sort of act to interrupt some of the mechanisms that go haywire in the brain. And typically what it involves are many different reasons and indications. Actually, my partner, Lloyd Zucker, does those for our group, and
Really?
yeah, he actually was in the OR today doing them. But it involves, typically putting a stimulator deep in the brain and hooking it up to a battery that can help essentially be programmed to send those signals to minimize some of the side effects. And I haven't seen that show in a while, but I think the brother had Parkinson's
Yes.
disease, so I think that was sort of the background.
And actually, when he turns it off, you can see a lot of the shaking comes back, and some of the symptoms come back almost immediately. And he turns it back on, and they kind of go away.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. And a lot of those surgeries are done awake, so patients in the operating room, and you can sort of turn the stimulation on and off and determine what their benefit is when you're putting it in.
Well, that's really interesting. Now, I know you also have a deep affiliation with the community with Boca Regional Hospital as well as FAU. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, Boca Regional is a great partner. Actually, one of the reasons why I came to the community in the first place was to come down to Boca Regional. They were looking to build the neuroscience program, and this is many years before the Marcus Neuroscience Institute. But one of the things that attracted me was the potential affiliation with a medical school. I actually almost went to academic medicine as opposed to going into private practice. Yeah, so I considered that when I was in Tampa, thought about staying up there, and wanted to find a way to meld the two. So the FAU thing has developed over time, but Boca Regional Hospital has become a great partner for us. We have a relationship with the Marcus Neuroscience Institute and actually maintain an office there where we regularly see patients. So we use that as an outlet to the community through that state-of-the-art venue to help the citizens of Boca basically with their neurologic problems. But FAU is a great thing. We ever since they had the medical school over the past few years, we've been involved in teaching medical students and residents and things along those lines. In fact, we have a medical student right now who's planning on going into neurosurgery, and I kind of followed him from his second or third year of medical school up until now, where he's getting ready to actually start the program next year. So it's exciting.
You're mentoring him.
Yeah, of sorts. I mean, there are many more mentors than just myself, but I'd like to think I have a little bit of influence on him.
That's great. Tell us a little bit about your practice, and I know it's located up in Delray, and you have the office in Boca, but tell us a little bit about your practice.
Sure. So we have a 4-person group. My partner in the business is Dr. Lloyd Zucker, who's been in the community for many years, doing great work. And essentially, we decided that because we have two communities that we really serve, the Boca and the Delray, we decided having two offices made more sense. So as I mentioned, we have the practice at the Marcus Neuroscience Institute, which is more Boca-centric. We also do the trauma work at Delray Hospital, so we wanted to have some proximity there. So we opened our Delray office as well. We pretty much provide all neurosurgical services across the board. As I mentioned, my particular specialty is probably more spine. I do some brain tumor work. My partner, Dr. Zucker, does more general neurosurgery, but with a focus on tumors and that neuromodulation we had talked about. We have a pediatric neurosurgeon named Dr. Young, who specializes in kids and brain tumors as well. And then Dr. Greenberg is more of our hospital-based neurosurgeon and helps deal with more of the emergencies. So we really have a nice, tight-knit group. We're very cohesive, and really, I like to tell everybody we're 24/7, kind of like you, that anytime something needs to be taken care of, we're there for them.
Tell us a little bit about kind of your involvement moving down to South Florida, because I know you have a long history in South Florida. So tell us a little bit about your past. And
Sure. So I grew up in South Florida, actually. I was born in New York, but I've been here most of my life. My father is a urologist, and once he retired, we decided to come back down here to be closer to my family. My aunts and uncles are also down here as well. So Stacy's family is also predominantly Fort Lauderdale based at that time. Now some of them are in Boca. So we thought that Boca Raton was a really nice place to be. It's obviously a beautiful place to live, and great people like you live here, right? So we're able to really get involved in the community. We just thought it was just a really nice place to raise the kids, and so that's kind of how we moved down to South Florida about 12 years ago, and we've sort of been really enjoying being here since then.
well, so speaking of enjoying living here, what are some of your favorite places to be since we've had this growth spurt and now we have a walkable downtown? What are some of the things that you and your family like to do in Boca?
Sure. Well, probably just like anybody else, we love being in East Boca. We live in Central Boca right now, but all the developments that are taking place in East Boca with, as you mentioned, the sort of walkable downtown and the new buildings going up really makes it very interesting. I think it's more gearing toward sort of a younger demographic. We enjoy being in Meisner, headed to the beach, all sorts of water activities. And, to be honest with you, living South Florida is such a great opportunity because we have Palm Beach to the north and Miami to the south. There's just a plethora of things to do. I'm a huge music fan, sports fan, so we really try to go to all shows. Saw Coldplay the other night, and really try to get out as much as we can. So it's been a blessing.
That's great. And I get to occasionally have the opportunity to see you over at the Beach Club, which is always great. I love catching up with you and the family over at the Beach Club, which is also really nice, and we appreciate that. So is there anything else you'd like our listeners to know about you and what you do and what your group does?
Sure. Well, I think basically, we're trying to do the best thing for the community and provide a great community service. We do that obviously through outreach, in which myself and the members of my group, regularly give community talks and educational seminars, and supporting the medical students who are going to create the future, physicians that will hopefully come to this area and practice, and just basically trying to, help the well-being of the community by doing our best. And I think we do a pretty good job of that.
Well, Evan, listen, I appreciate you coming on. We appreciate everything you do for the community, especially the things you do for the charitable organizations. We couldn't do it if it wasn't for people like you and Stacy, and it truly is an honor to serve on boards and do the things that you guys do with you. We really do appreciate it. Thank you for being with us, and we look forward to seeing you soon.
Thanks so much. Great to see you, Peter.
Thank you for joining us on Boca Voice and Fact or Fiction Friday. We look forward to seeing you soon. Don't forget to follow us online and on Facebook. We'll make sure that we include the links to also all of his social links so you can follow him and his group. Thank you for joining us.